really quickly about being a risk taker too. I think I know this about myself. It's not that I'm not a risk taker. I'm definitely a risk taker. I'm a calculated risk taker. But I think oftentimes, if this is your first run at entrepreneurship, like even just the tuition to get into this program, you look at it and you're like, oh man, that's a lot of money. And then I think if you haven't been an entrepreneur before, it's hard for us to relate to what small business owners go through when our biggest expense maybe we've ever spent is just on this like education piece, right? Because in our business, there's not a lot of expenses. And I see oftentimes inside the group, we're kind of like, I see people asking a question like, what are all the expenses to this business? And in all reality, our expenses to this business are like pretty much non-existent. Even when you really break it down to domain names and the Weebly hosting. And I used to talk about this all the time about hunting elephants instead of hunting squirrels. And, I obviously in every business is a little bit different. In every situation you guys are in a little bit different, but I would really encourage you guys to not focus in the early beginnings of your business on trying to chop $5 here and $10 there. I would really encourage you guys to be focused on getting the client to pay these things. I see too many people focused on the wrong stuff in their business in the very beginnings. And what I think it does is it takes all this time and energy that you have and it puts it in the wrong use. And you only have so much energy every day and so much time every day that you can put towards your business. And I think if you're dedicating yourself to learning new things that can save you $10 here and $12 there, it's really the wrong focus of energy, because that same time could be spending on getting that client that pays you $1,000 or $1,200, right? Which one's a better use of time? Not saving the 10 or 12. And anyway, so I think that whole risk taker and that whole idea of when you get into business, your whole entire focus should be, well, at least this business, getting through the process, number one, and then getting a sale, getting a client under your belt as quickly as possible instead of getting derailed into a bunch of different things. If I could give you any advice, I would say that's probably the number one thing I want you focused on right when you get going. Get through the training, number one, then get a client right under your belt. Sounds simple, but I see too many people, they get partway through the training and they're asking questions about so many other things that don't necessarily matter, or they're trying to save a buck or two because they've made past decisions, or they've put themselves in bad cash flow situations from past things they've done in their life. They're totally derailed again, right? So how do we get that sale as quickly as possible, get that capital? The sale from your customer is going to be paying your expenses. I recently bought an apartment complex. So I bought an apartment complex. I told you guys about this a little while ago. I closed on it 2 days ago. Again, this goes back to this whole idea of make a sale. I'm a big believer in always have everything for sale. Why not, right? I'm always going to have a line in the water, and I want you guys to have lines in the water too. So today I closed 2 days ago. I think I closed at $915,000. I got an offer today for $1 million. I don't know if I'm going to take the offer, but again, it goes back to the idea of being a risk taker. There's going to be things I don't foresee in this deal. I don't know if I'm going to sell it or not. I listed it for 1.3 just to fish. So I want you guys kind of taking this same mentality into your own life, into your own business as you build this business out. Guys, always be fishing as many lines in the water as you possibly can. You never know if you never know if you're going to catch a fish if you don't have lines in the water. Maybe you're the worst fisherman in the world, or salesperson, or business owner, or entrepreneur, right? I don't know all that much about real estate, right? This is kind of new thing. It's kind of like a goal of mine to have that area of my business going as well. And all I know is if I'm not making offers, if I'm not putting myself out in front of people, all I did was take a free Craigslist listing out, and I'm getting people interested in a property that I've literally owned for 2 days for quite a bit more money than I have. So again, this goes back to this idea of being a risk taker, making more offers, putting yourself out in front of people. You're not going to get people giving you money unless you're asking for it in some capacity. And we teach you guys a lot of different strategies from a prospecting standpoint to get in front of people. Guys, you should be doing that each and every day. In some capacity, you got to ask yourself, did I ask anyone for any money today? Most of the times the answer is no, you didn't. You will never have a business if there's not money coming in. This isn't the government, okay? This is not just free jobs and free labor and freaking free. That's not how it works here. As an entrepreneur, we got to go out there and ask people. Someone else has your money, okay? You got to be willing to ask for it. You got to be willing to put an ad out. You got to be willing to send an email. You got to send a text message, a Facebook message, right? Ask a couple friends, okay? There's so many ways out there to get money, but if you ain't asking for it, you're definitely not going to get it. The same thing is true in this real estate deal. If I didn't put an ad out on Craigslist, I know, it took a little bit of time, had to draft the ad up. In fact, I didn't even write it or draft it, but my buddy did, Sean. But if we didn't put that out there, we wouldn't got this offer. Are you going to take every offer you get? Absolutely not. Sometimes you guys are going to put yourself out there. Maybe it's like on a lead gen property and the business owner's like, look, I only want to pay you $3 a lead, and you believe the leads are worth $10 or $15 a lead. Listen, I'd rather have that option than not have that option, especially when first starting out a business, because I want to capitalize my business with other people's money, right? I don't want to continue funding my business with my own money, right? You got to this point, right? You started into the training, you paid your tuition, you're into this group now. Look, if you're doing this right, you'll never pay $1 for this training that you bought, right? Your customer will, right? I was talking to someone, I think she may be watching right now. We were talking about, she just went to law school, or she went to law school in the past. My wife went to law school as well. Big bill to go to law school. Listen, no person that goes to law school that signs off, or any school for that matter, well, there's probably some, but there's some majors that are complete stupid, but most people, professionals, let's say doctors, attorneys, right? They're not going to school going, wow, this is a $150,000 bill. Oh man, they're going, someone else's, the patients, the customers, the clients, those are who's going to be paying this thing. Might take some time, might take some money and some investment and taking some risks up front, but ultimately I'm not paying this back. Someone else is paying this back. I think you got to start having that mentality in this business, is that someone else is paying the tab, not you, if you're doing it right. If you're paying the tab, you're doing this incorrectly. You should never pay a dime for this training. Your customer should, right? If you don't have customers, if you're not making offers, if you're not having lines in the water, then it's a hobby, right? It's just something that you're doing to fill your time and make you feel good about yourself. I don't want that for you guys. I want you guys, every one of you guys, I want you guys making freaking money.